it's Jennifer DeVivo, and I am coming to you with your 2021 housing market update. We are out in a beautiful Leesburg. We're going to show you a gorgeous home, so stay tuned while we break down the numbers. Well guys, the first thing is last April when the pandemic started kind of hitting, we were all wondering, how is this going to affect the market? Some realtors were like, it's over, nobody's gonna come out, nobody's gonna buy a house. But what we saw was actually one of the strongest housing markets we have ever seen, not just only in Orlando, but all across the country. And if you haven't been paying to that, attention to that, we're gonna kind of tell you, well, why is that happening? Number one, interest rates. Interest rates are the star. I'm sure you're hearing about that. Like, how does that affect me? Where are interest rates? That's what everybody tells me. Interest rates are sitting at about 2.7% right now. And the forecast is that they're not going to go above 3% for the rest of 2021. And so that is an incredible opportunity. We have never, ever seen interest rates year over year below 3% consistently. So how can you take advantage of that, and how does it affect you? Well, the biggest way this impacts you is that if you are a home buyer and you're thinking about buying a home, and prices are going up, we're going to talk about that. What a low interest rate like this allows you to do is buy more home. And as homes get more expensive, you're like, Jen, what is that monthly payment going to be? Well, it's going to take off hundreds of dollars off of your monthly payment. And in Orlando, where like a one bedroom, I was talking to a client of mine the other day, one bedroom is like $1,700, $1,800, $1,600. You can buy a nice home for that same amount, stop throwing away money in rent, and definitely start becoming a homeowner, enjoy the many benefits of homeownership. The other thing that we're seeing is a crazy packed banking market. Everyone is refinancing their homes, including yours truly. I got a 5% a while ago. I thought that was great. And for those of you who are first-time home buyers and you're like, well, 2.7%, in the 80s, the interest rates were in 17 and 18%. And then in like even 2006, 2007, we thought 6% was a great interest rate. So if you're a home buyer and you're a first-time home buyer, now is the time to get more house for less money and a lower monthly payment to take advantage of these low interest rates. So the next big news is that prices have gone up. I'm sure you already know, for those of us who lived in Orlando like all our lives and we're seeing homes going for some of these prices, we're like, you paid what? But what we're seeing is a year-over-year increase in 10%. Typically, our textbook appreciation rate is about 5%. But in Florida, the Orlando area, the Central Florida area, home prices have increased 10%. Nationally, they've increased about 7%. And what we're going to continue to see is home prices increasing. What the economists are saying is that it's going to slow down a little bit. Maybe it's going to get closer to a 5% increase. But if you're owning a home right now, I'm sure you're looking at your equity rising. If you want to contact me, I would be happy to let you know how much equity do you have in your home right now. So what does that price look like? So this time last year, right around January or so, 2020, the average or the median price of a home was $249,000. Now, a year later, the median price of a home is $275,000. Somebody made some money if you were owning a home last year. And now we also have the average price of a home being about $322,000. What does that mean? That means for the home that you want, you're looking at paying a little bit more. You're looking in the low 300s to get that ideal home that you're looking for. So one of the reasons that prices are going up is home inventory. Home inventory is sitting at the lowest I have ever seen it. And I've been in the industry 15 years. We have veterans in the industry like, oh my gosh, we only have 1.7 months of home inventory on the market. So what does that mean, you're telling me, Jennifer? That means if no new homes came on the market in 1.7 months, less than 2 months, the current amount of home buyers that are buying homes right now would eat up the inventory. There'd be no homes left, right? So it's definitely a seller's market. If you're a seller, we have a segment, just stay tuned and we're going to tell you how to take advantage of that. If you're a buyer, we're going to tell you how to take advantage of this low inventory. A balanced market is about 4 months of inventory. If you have more than 4 months of inventory, it's more of a buyer's market. If you have less than 4 months of inventory, it's more of a seller's market. So it is definitely a seller bear market. So I'm sure you're asking, why is home inventory so low? Well, there are two major factors. One is the new normal. In COVID era, we're still in it whenever you're watching this video. And what it's caused is people to work from home. And maybe more and more people, as you probably saw in the news, are going to stay working from home. And so we're seeing mass departure from urban areas. And in the Orlando area, we're seeing lots of migration, people coming in from New York, from California, from Miami, and literally all different parts of the country as people are like, what? I could work from home and I could be in Florida. So we're seeing a lot of new residents coming into the Orlando area. The second thing that we're seeing is, if you thought about 2008, after 2008, home builders kind of stopped building homes. That was the crash. And everybody was like, nobody will ever build a house again. And so what happened is, for several years after 2008, home builders built very few homes. But guess what? People kept still having babies. So now we have a record number of first-time home buyers actually entering the market, getting ready to buy their home. And so these two things are really influencing the demand for that home home inventory being so low. And we're going to continue to see lower home inventory for the year, but builders, watch them. They're definitely ready to catch up. So this little section is for you buyers. Like I told you before, if you want to know how to navigate this market, we have low home inventory. So it is time to start thinking about construction. I'm in a new construction home today. We're in the Tavares, Leesburg area. And with the new normal, right, where people are working more from home, I would invite you to start thinking about areas that are a little further away from the urban area, the downtown Orlando area. Some of the hot spots where amazing homes are being built, like this one, are Leesburg, Tavares, Davenport, Volusia County, Orange City, Haines City. So expand your mind, expand your horizons, get ahead of the curve, and get more home, especially taking advantage of these low interest rates. The other thing, as you are a first-time home buyer, you're like, Jen, but what about a down payment? What about closing costs? While there are a lot of local housing programs, because of COVID, the county programs have been hit up and they've used a lot of that money to help people with rent and help people who are getting evicted. But there is new money and great programs with the State Housing Initiative, with the Florida Finance Corporation. There's $7,500 from the Florida Assist to help you. And there are also grants, guys. Yes, grants, money you do not have to pay back. The specific one I'm talking about is the half a grant, where you can take your sales price and you can take 3 or 4 or 5%, which, like on a $200,000 house, is like 10 grand, right? And that will cover your closing costs. And if you stay in the home for 5 years, you do not have to pay it back. And there's also one more thing on the horizon if you're a first-time home buyer. I call it the Biden grant or the Biden tax grant. But basically what they're talking about is $15,000 payable to you as a tax kind of benefit. They haven't fleshed it all out yet. That would help you cover the down payment and closing costs. So there's lots of goodies on the horizon for if you're a first-time home buyer, if you're a home buyer, to get grants and to also take advantage of the low interest rate. And remember, you're a first-time home buyer if you have not owned a home in the past 3 years. So for my sellers, I know you guys are looking at your home equity. You're like, Jen, I'm sitting on maybe 30 or 40 or 50 or $100,000 of equity. I want to change up my house, but I don't see a whole lot of other homes out there. Well, don't be afraid. First of all, think new construction, and changing where you live also applies to you. and also realize that you're going to be able to afford, you too as well, more home with these low interest rates while you are pocketing and profiting from these higher home prices. I wouldn't try to time the market. You're going to say, hey Jennifer, when is the best place? When is the best time? Except what I always say, the summer, July, June, August. You still have to make your home beautiful. You still have to hire a photographer like my lovely photographer, Sarah, with Verity Images, who's doing some of this work. You want to make your home look amazing. And another big factor why is because with home prices going up so quickly, appraisers who come to value your home once it's under contract are still going to be conservative. And so you got to impress the appraiser too. You have to show that your home is worth more as well, because you may have 4 or 5 buyers bidding on your house, but if the appraisal comes in lower, you're still not going to be able to sell it for as much as perhaps the crazy market out there with the low inventory is telling you. So if you need help, definitely reach out to me. I'd be happy to do an analysis for you and create a custom plan to help you get top dollar for your home and look at those little challenges in the home selling process to make sure that you finish at closing with the most amount of money in your pocket. Hey guys, so that concludes our 2021 housing market update. If you have more questions or you want to schedule an online Zoom in your living room dream home planning session with me, I will come, I'll sit down with you in your living room, socially distanced on Zoom, and we'll talk about what's the best plan to sell your home, what's the best plan to purchase your home, or how to get even ready, how to even get starting to wrap your mind around it and think about it. And I invite you to press subscribe if you haven't already, or find us on social media, and definitely visit me at lotusdoorhomes.com, or just put my name, Jennifer DeVivo, on Google, and all that kind of stuff will come up. I thank you so much for listening, and we hope that you have an amazing, safe, and blessed